Hello all, welcome again. Let's discuss some more questions on environment, pollution and climate change. So the next question is, estuaries possess distinct bloom if excessive growth of a pigmented dinoflagellates occur. These blooms are called. Options are red tides, sea tides, black tides, sea flowers. The correct answer to this question will be option A, that is red tides. To understand this question, let me tell you. As we know that estuaries are mouth of the river. Where river meets with the sea, it is called estuary. So estuaries is the mouth of the river, and it brings in the rivers there are fresh water coupled with more dense, and it contains wastes, bio wastes, different types of waste, chemical waste, bio waste and solid effluents. All these type of waste are contained in the river water and along with the sediment. When the river water comes and meets with the sea, the river water mixes with the sea, and that has salty and alkaline water, and which is less dense, and the river water sinks, leaving all the sediments above. And when the river water sinks, leaving all the sediments above, then these sediments start decomposing and degrading and decomposing. The process of degradation and decomposition starts. Degradation and decomposition that requires oxygen, and thus the biochemical oxygen demand it increases, and many other microorganisms such as some bacteria and some pigmented dinoflagellates, as it has been given in the question. A pigmented dinoflagellate, that is an algae or bacteria. So some microorganism they start growing. So some microorganisms they start growing, and when they start growing, let me take a new slide. So when these microorganisms start growing, so microorganism start growing because they are getting more nutrients for nourishment, and so they grow, and these microorganisms may be some bacterium or some microalgae. So they start growing, and these microorganisms, because they have nutrients in the form of waste, and the waste is degrading, and these start degrading the waste. They degrade and decompose, and these are the microorganisms that degrade or decompose the waste. The effluent present in the water that has come to the sea along with the river water, so effluents. So it start degrade, and thus the biochemical oxygen demand it increases. After some time, these microorganisms they grow very fast, and they cover entire. So these microorganisms they grow so fast, and they cover entire estuary. But after some time, there is a mass die out because of less oxygen available, mass die out. So there is a mass die out happens due to decrease in oxygen level. So when the less oxygen is available, these microorganisms and bacterium that were growing and that have grown to a large extent, they die out in mass quantity, and this mass die out leaves or leaves a red pigment, red or orange pigment, and that pigment causes, and when the tide comes, the tide becomes red tide, and these bacterium or microalgae are one of the bacterium or microalgae responsible for red tide. Red tide is dinoflagellates. So this is the whole process of the red tide. Now let's come to the next question. Next question is the minimum land area recommended for forest cover to maintain proper ecological balance in India is. Options are 25%, 33%, 43%, 53%. The correct answer to this question will be option A, that is 25%, because 25% land area is recommended for forest cover to maintain proper ecological balance. But with respect to this question, let me tell you a current affair. So a current affair with respect to this forest cover and forest ecological balance and all these things. So current affair, and that current affair is related to India State of Forest Report, ISFR 2019. This last year in 2019, Ministry of Forest and Climate Change, that has a department that is called Forest Survey of India. So this Forest Survey of India, FSI, Forest Survey of India, along with Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, that functions under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It released a biennial report, 16th India State of Forest Report 2019. It is a biennial report. It means it comes every 2 years, every second year. So it comes every second year, and it is released by Forest Survey of India. So this India State of Forest Report is released by Forest Survey of India, and it is being released since 1987. And as per the India State of Forest Report, the 16th version of India State of Forest Report, the total forest cover in India at present of the total geographical area of the country is 21.67%. So the total forest cover is 21.67%, while the total tree cover is different from the forest cover. Forest cover means the forested area, the tree available only in the forested area, while tree cover means the tree available in the whole geographical area, whether it is forest or whether it is reserve, biosphere reserve does not matter, or national park or individual standalone trees. So tree cover is a bigger connotation than the forest cover. So the total tree cover is 24.56%, and as of the total geographical area so the total forest cover is 21.67% as per the latest report of India State of Forest Report 2019, and the total tree cover is 24.56% of the total geographical area of the country as per this report. Along with, so the forest, as we know that the forest function as carbon sink, because they take carbon dioxide and deposit it they convert it in the form of cellulose, that is C6H12O6 cellulose, and starch in the form of cellulose and starch. So and thus they function as, the forests function as function as carbon sink, and they decrease the amount of the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that is very harmful due to the global warming effect. So as we know that India's target as per the nationally determined contribution decided in 2015 is to have a carbon sink of 25 to 3 billion tons of carbon sink, 25 to 3 billion tons. So India, under nationally determined contribution as per the Paris Agreement of 2015, India has decided that it will create a forest cover and a forest that will help to have a 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon sink by 2030. And this is some important information. Now let's come to the next question. The next question is, which one of the following agricultural practices is eco-friendly? Options are organic farming, shifting cultivation, cultivation of high yield varieties, and growing plants in glass houses. The correct answer to this question will be option A, that is organic farming, because shifting cultivation leads to some point of time, though it is a sustainable way and it is practiced by, it is also called jhum cultivation, and it is practiced by some of the tribals in northeast and Jharkhand and all these areas. While shifting cultivation is a sustainable form of cultivation and it creates some form of ecological ecosystem succession, but it also results in some losses to biodiversity, environment and all these things. While cultivation of high yield varieties is totally unsustainable because it requires a lot of irrigation, high irrigation. It requires high irrigation. It requires a lot of pesticides and insecticides, and it requires a lot of fertilizers. So it is not totally sustainable. It is not sustainable way, though the yield is very high. So fertilizers. So definitely it is not a sustainable way and it is not an eco-friendly. Then growing plants in glass houses. It can be done at very limited scale. So this can be done only at a limited scale, and it is done in some of the only Scandinavian countries where there is not enough temperature available. Scandinavian countries, and Siberian region where not enough temperature and enough sunlight is available to grow plants, where there is always a frigid temperature. So this is, now let's come to the next question. The next question is, India had the largest population of Asian X. Today there are just about 20,000 to 25,000. This is not 250,000. This is 25,000. 20,000 to 25,000 X in their natural habitat, spreading across evergreen forest, dry thorny forest, swamps and grasslands. Their prime habitat, however, are the moist deciduous forest. This is not most, this is moist deciduous forest. The population of X in India ranges from northwest India, where they are found in the forest division of Dehradun, Bijnor, Nainital districts of UP, to the western Ghats in states of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. In the central India, their population is distributed in southern Bihar, Orissa. In the east, they are found in the North Bengal, Assam and few other states also. So the question is, the animal X referred to in the above quotation is, options are lion, elephant, distribution, one-horned rhinoceros. So if you talk about one-horned rhinoceros, it is only found in some areas of Sikkim and Assam. So this is definitely not an answer. If you talk about tiger is also not as much was not earlier. Also, it was not as much widely distributed. So this is also not correct. And if you talk about lion is only found in India. Asian lion is found in India, in Bir, Gujarat only. So this is definitely not an answer. So the answer will be elephant. Earlier, elephant had a wide distribution in India, and especially Asian elephants. Asian elephants had wide distribution in India, and they were found all over India, especially in northern India. And they are found not only evergreen forest, they are